Hello, Yakri here with another Warframe video. This time I want to talk about what makes Harrow so great. Now, if you've seen one of these videos before, you'll know that I focus on one ability out of the four abilities the Warframe has that really makes them stand out, or perhaps some interaction between their abilities or with an augment or something like that, right? Just like one thing, even if all of their abilities are great. For Harrow and for my personal playstyle, I think Penance is that ability by quite a lot. Penance increases your fire rate, reload speed, and causes you to heal yourself and allies in an area around you for a certain amount of the damage done, right? This ability is just really, really great because it changes how weapons feel in an amazing way. Now, actually, let's take a quick look at this here. The fire rate and reload speed bonuses are very high, right? Base 70% faster reload and 35% higher fire rate. With all the power strength I have piled on, that's 80% faster fire rate and 160% faster reload. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Man, that is a quick reload right there. Now, interesting thing about this makes him very good with certain other things, like arcanes, for example. Something I wouldn't normally want to recommend you use, really, as part of a build, but they're a little more accessible these days, and Harrow has some neat interactions with some of them. In particular, there are some arcanes for pistols that can combo well together, like increased fire rate on critical hit, and then increased damage on reload. So, I don't know if I can get this to trigger, but with Penance active, there we go, Arcane Awakening. This increases the damage of my pistols by 50%, right? It's activated on reload, so if I keep firing constantly, sometime before I run out of ammo, I ought to get another proc of it. And if I had it at a high level, this would be very reliable. Of course, I don't, so it's a little bit inconsistent. Hey, there we go. And if I was actually hitting enemies, I also have Arcane Velocity, which gives you increased fire rate on pistols on a critical hit. Okay, so let's take a look at my build for Harrow. This isn't perfect. I need to form him a few more times. But this gives you a good idea of what works well on him. He doesn't need a lot of efficiency as long as he can kill enemies because he can restore his own energy, right? And for this build to work well, all you really need is a lot of power strength, especially with his ability to stack duration on his 2 Penance by reactivating it once he gets his shields back, as it strips away your shields and increases its duration based on how much of your shields were stripped, right? In absolute numbers. I've also got Arcane Awakening, as we can see here, increased 20% chance on reload for that bonus damage to pistols, and Arcane Velocity for on critical hit, that chance for increased fire rate. These are, of course, not essential at all for this build to be fun or feel good, but there are actually a couple other arcanes that work similarly, right? There are a lot of arcanes that work off of things like headshots, or landing critical hits, or reloading. Funnily enough, Harrow makes reloading, landing headshots, and scoring critical hits easier or better, right? Because his abilities scale off of things like headshots, he has the ability to give you crit chance, and he increases your fire rate, allowing you to just shoot more in general, and your reload speed, making reloading far less painful. Let's spawn up some enemies at a fairly decent level. I think I've selected level 100, and just shoot them up a bit to give you an idea of why I like this so much, right? Actually, I probably should have done it before and after, but let's take some guys out with this up. Actually, with my build on the Dexterous, it's gonna have a rough time killing these guys, but I should be able to. I actually fire a lot faster because this is semi-automatic. Okay. Alright, and it's worn off now. Let's take a look at your fire rate and reload without it. Alright, I'm getting increased fire rate from critical hits, but as you can see, the reload is much slower, and in fact, actually, with the Arcane Velocity, when that procs with Penance up, your fire rate is crazy. Let's change over to the Twin Grakatas, right? Where we can really get an idea of how awesome this is. Aha, that's more like it. I really enjoy a variety of weapons in the game, a lot more while playing Harrow than I would while not playing him, and that's what I really appreciate about his overall design and the design of this ability in particular. His ultimate as well enhances his ability to play well, right, and play in an enjoyable way, and the fact that this is how he heals his allies is a lot of fun. I think he's a very... what's the word I'm looking for here? He's a frame that, or a character, a class, right, in a way, that suits the game, Warframe, extremely well. There's a lot of other frames that have an interaction between firearms and their abilities, but it's often a lot more indirect. The way that Harrow just directly incorporates shooting at people into being a support character of sorts is really enjoyable and fits really well with the theme of the game, in my opinion. And Penance is the core ability that draws the rest of his kit together and makes firing a variety of weapons with him very enjoyable because of the increased fire rate and reload speed. And, of course, the ability to keep yourself and your allies alive for longer just by shooting at things, what you'd like to be doing anyway, right? Anyway, that concludes this video. If you like this content and you'd like to see more of it, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And that's all for now. Yakri out.